a question that I'm being asked all the time, you know, and the person asking for the question generally don't like the answer, because I don't like to bullshit. I like to tell the truth about it. And basically it's the question of offshore company. Everybody thinks that you can come in Hong Kong and have an offshore company and pay 0% tax. This is not true. There's a couple of myths about offshore company, and I would like to answer those myths one by one. Myth number one, the offshore company itself is a unicorn. It doesn't exist, you know. There is not such a thing as an offshore company in Hong Kong. If you go to the RRD in Hong Kong, you know, in the government, and you ask to set up an offshore company, it's not possible. It doesn't exist. You have sole proprietorship, you have limited company, you have partnership, you have a whole bunch of companies set up, but you don't have an offshore company. So why people are talking about offshore company then? It's because there is a thing called the tax exemption on offshore profits in Hong Kong. So if your profit has been made outside Hong Kong, you can claim a tax exemption. You can ask for this tax exemption. And then people generally associate that to an offshore company. They say that's an offshore company, right? So this is where the word comes from. Now, many clients think, oh, okay, so my business is abroad, you know, I just use Hong Kong as a financial place to basically, you know, get my operations somewhere. That's where I have my company, but I have no activities there. They say all my profit is made outside Hong Kong, no activities, no operation in Hong Kong, no employees, nothing. So I qualify for the tax exemption. Well, yes, maybe, but maybe not. Okay, there is something that they generally forget. It's like the whole hypothesis behind offshore profit means that you have made your profit outside Hong Kong. And that means that you are liable of paying your profit tax somewhere else, not in Hong Kong, but somewhere else, in the US, in Europe, or whatever. It's not like you are paying 0% tax. It's that you are not paying tax because these taxes are supposed to be paid somewhere else. So normally it's really easy to actually ask for the tax exemption. You just say, oh no, I have an offshore profit, and then the Inland Revenue Department will say nothing for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Then they will send you a letter and say, hey, I have a couple of questions here, generally between 20 to 40. And they will say, can you answer them? Prove me that you are Hong Kong, that you are an offshore company, that you don't have any activities in Hong Kong, and that your profit is made somewhere else. And at that moment, you are in trouble. Because basically, you will have to hire a specialist, a tax specialist, to answer all these questions, and they charge. I can tell you, they really charge. And it's not guaranteed that you will have these exemption, because one of the questions that they ask from time to time is like, okay, so you have a profit somewhere else, so where, and you didn't pay any profit tax in Hong Kong, so where did you pay your tax? Show me where you pay your tax. And at that moment, it becomes really annoying because the client didn't pay tax anywhere, and that's not legal basically. And this is something that you have to know if you want to set up an offshore company in Hong Kong. Most of the time, claiming these exemptions, even if you get it, may cost you more than just paying your taxes, because Hong Kong has other way of paying less taxes. And I will show you that in another video. Let's say this video here, I will put it here. I will explain you how to reduce the amount of tax that you pay without necessarily be an offshore company. And offshore company doesn't exist, I just said, but without claiming for this offshore tax exemption. Yeah, so that's around it. So be really careful. Asking for this offshore tax exemption can be nice for certain company if you fulfill like two main criteria. First, you are being advised by an international tax planner and he knows what he is doing. Second, you have a big profit. If you have like 1 million Hong Kong dollars profit or even 2 million Hong Kong dollars profit, don't play around with tax exemption. You will actually have to pay more taxes, more in consulting fees, and not being even sure that you get this exemption than just paying your tax. Okay, if you want to see how you can avoid paying too much tax by using all the kind of tricks, just look at the next video here.